Hello my good students, welcome back to our War on the Sea Let's Play series as the US Naval Forces invaded Guadalcanal in Operation Watchtower of 1942. Joining our own New Hebrides Express here, on its steaming its way towards the New Hebrides, of course, going for a last bit of fuel and engineering to resupply Reno Island and upgrade that to a level 3 port finally. And we're on day 18 so far, and we've made some very good progress for those who are just tuning in for the first time in this series. We've taken all of the central islands to our main campaign goals, and in this episode I think we're going to try and take Santa Isabel. So undoubtedly perhaps an air defense heavy sort of episode ahead, but hopefully we get something a little bit more. Hopefully we'll be able to make some airstrikes of our own onto some enemy shipping. Perhaps we'll even spot another carrier, but in favourable position to what we did in the last couple episodes. That was horrible. We're still reeling from that attack and not doing too good at all in that regard. We have lost a couple ships because of that, but the IGN have lost even more than us, so we're still in a decent position, I think, just on the back foot a little bit in terms of surface offensive power. So with all that said, let's go to the strategic map and see what we can do. Alrighty then, so what we are doing is, like I said, we have our task force over here with the submarines and the C3 going to pick up some engineering and fuel. The last bit from the New Hebrides, more likely, I think just the engineering there. It is only 52 there, but we don't need very much at all to get the engineering needed to make a level 3 port, which is absolutely fine. Even if we run this dry, that's going to be fine. We're going to get a level 3 port no matter what. We do have some supply ships coming over for that last little bit of supply that we need to get Reno Island up. That should be absolutely fine. That should take over easily. Let's just double check that. Yeah, that should definitely be enough there. I think we'll be okay. And of course we do have about 3,000-ish supply from this group over here, and just a little bit more troop count. We will be slightly undersupplied when we do land on Santa Isabel. We should really have picked up some supplies on our destroyers and such over here, but that's not a problem. I think we'll be okay. This is just to ward off any aircraft coming from Santa Isabel and take us away from our task force here. I would rather that the planes went for our main task force here, which has some ships with anti-aircraft on it, rather than our supply ships over here, which are relatively undefended. We have just loaded in the game, so that does come with the benefit of seeing what sorts of submarines are nearby, and we can of course only see this one which only ever seems to linger around this area outside of Australia. That does mean then we should not have any trouble with submarines in the near future in this area. But that is subject to change, of course. So what we're going to do is get some. We're going to see if we can get some walruses off of our ships here, and of course try and scout ahead, because going in blind is of course a bad idea. Not the best at all. I would not recommend it. Let's see if the county can get something off. No, the county. This is a walrus coming from the county, is it? No. Okay, interesting. Must have been shot down earlier. Has been a while since I last recorded, so please forgive me for forgetting that. We're going to launch some wildcats, of course, and I think, you know what, they're just going to hover over our invasion task force there as much as they can. They don't have the best durability or endurance, rather, so they're just going to be some light protection there. We are, of course, going to see if we can launch some more scouts off of Florida Islands here. We're going to launch another duck out, I think, in that sort of direction. This is going to watch our flanks and actually circle up around here a little bit and see what we can do there. And we're going to, of course, watch our flanks with some kingfishers off of Reno Island, of course. We're going to go the usual sort of path just up here and curve around a little bit. We do have some lightnings retreating here to rearm. That's absolutely fine. They can come back, rearm, come back out with some rockets. We do of course have some bow fighters and bowfoots over here, just scouting around, looking for anything that might be there. Lightnings again retreating, and what do we have here? Let's cycle through to try and get that properly. That is some bow fighters. Looks like they are just coming out, but their orders got reset because the game restarted. Lovely stuff. Let's just take them out randomly, and I think we have some mariners over here looking for that carrier that's up here. So with all that being said, I'll launch some more scouts and see you in the future. Alrighty then, so we have been intercepted by quite a large air group, but it is mostly float planes, so mostly Jakes, but of course we do have some Emilys, which has confirmed for me then that this is the Emily base, which has been plaguing us throughout the last few episodes. So what we're going to try and do is actually, of course, target these specifically, and what we're going to do is, of course, try and break off very quickly. Not going to try and pause here, I don't think. That's just cheating, of course, isn't it? We are going to try and identify where those planes are going. Does look like they're going for perhaps the Juno here, or perhaps the Sea Mauritius over there. That's not a problem. Let's get them to turn out. I have pressed brake. Come on, let's get out. Yeah, there we go. Oh, okay, maybe they were going for the destroyer. That is a very lucky miss there for us. That is excellent stuff. Okay, what we're going to do is actually stop the turn there, because it will just go into the Mauritius. And we're going to stop the turn from the Mauritius itself. Should be okay. How are our aircraft doing? We haven't lost any just yet, so that's brilliant stuff. We have taken some damage, not a problem. And they have taken rather heavy casualties themselves. Where are these going? They have yet to drop. But we are taking some decent manoeuvres, I think, to evade them. Lovely stuff. I've missed all of the action here. It's happened so quickly, this engagement. Do apologise. Oh, but I will take a safe task force myself. Thank you very much. I'm very happy for that. To take losses here would have been disgusting and very devastating. But it does look like they are in the retreat. So what we're going to try and do is chase them down with our Wildcats so they can't land and rearm. Let's do that. Which one are you going for? Come on, my dude. Let's get this Wildcat out. He's not going for the Emilys. I'm not so bothered about the Jakes so much. They do only have light armament. Let's just pause very quickly because the map is not looking great over here. Yeah, I've just completely forgotten about the Warrington. We're going to stop with that and get things to break and actually turn off hazard evasion. We're going to do that because I do not trust it. I really do not trust it. Let's just get this to stop, actually. And get the Warrington to stop as well. This one, it's the Nestor, not the Warrington. Yeah, let's get everything to just full-on stop very quickly. Let's unpause, press play again. I think we'll be okay. Yeah, that's okay. Let's just pause, stop this one here. Lovely stuff. How's everyone else looking? Let's get you to stop, shall we? I do not trust where your path is going. And let's stop you as well because you're still turning. We've evaded all of the bombs and such, so doesn't matter if we're a sitting duck. It's absolutely fine. Now then, how are we doing? Counter, you definitely need to stop. You're going to run straight into this destroyer here. Possibly the Atlanta. Was not looking out for that. Oh, dearie, dearie, dear. Let's get that right back. Yeah, let's stop that. Stop turning. Oh, what's the damage on there? Oh, flooded the main bow compartments. Oh, dearie, dearie, dear. The Warrington is not in a good shape at all, is it? Lost a back turret. We're going to have to send this back in the future. It will serve for this invasion, and then we're going to have to take it back, I think. That's not ideal at all there. Let's turn off the evasion stuff there, just in case they decide to get any ideas of their own. And that should be that. We're just chasing down this Emily now. Well, apart from the friendly damage that we caused ourselves, I think that was a very successful defence. Let's just carry on, shall we? We're not going to actually move this task force just yet. If we get any closer, we will be coming under constant attacks, I think. We'll move them up with the task force here. Should we double check how long that's going to take, actually? It's going to take about 8 hours or so. And that is actually, you know what? I am going to wait and bring it up a little bit. And then we can go under the cover of nice, I think. And that would be perfect. That will actually be far more strategically sound. And we'll be okay there. So I'll see you in a minute. Well, it seems the IJN are relentless in their attacks, and they are sending in a group of Mavises to intercept us now. So what we're going to do is turn into them with our portside destroyers, and do that. And I think we're going to carry on with the rest of our group, I think, and turn out a little bit with our outer edge groups. Just a little bit to give our central groups some time to maneuver if they do so need to. We should have some time to shoot at them with our AA though and our Wildcats, because they do of course need to dive down still. Our Wildcats struggling a little bit to get the altitude right there, so it's quite possible they'll get shot down by the defensive fire. We do see one go down. The little shit should get your altitude just right the first time, of course. Okay, so what we're going to do is go straight in. Looks like they are going for the Benham here. We are going to turn right into them with the Nesta, and the Marne I think can slow down as well and turn out, I think, like that. We need to double check what's happening over here. I'm going to pause very quickly to give myself some more control, because we do not want to make the same mistake we made last time, actually, do we? That would be rather detrimental to our health, like that. Okay, brilliant stuff. Yeah, we have lost all the Wildcats now because they took far too long getting into a position. So let's turn back out with the Benham, and hopefully it does look like, okay, maybe they're not dropping from the Benham here. Doesn't matter either way because they're so close to our small arms now that we should be getting some decent hits on. Just waiting for that last one to go down there. Excellent stuff. So we do have one just over here. What are they going for? Well, let's get the Nesta here into our direct line with it. Try and actually turn to port as hard as you can, please. Thank you very much. I might actually get the Napier over here to turn out as well to it. Yeah, there we go. Lovely stuff. Easy. Mavis is such a big and slow target. We have, of course, so many ships about. It's not too much of a bother. I think what I'm going to do is go back to the strategic map and actually change our battle line to a line ahead, just so it's a little easier to maneuver for us. That does mean, however, I am going to change up a couple positions, just put a lot of the destroyers in the front, and I think really I want the heavy cruisers in the middle there, like that. Well, not there was only one heavy cruiser, but that's not a problem. We'll just change up the position of the Mauritius as well, and I think that should be just fine there. Just keep everything a little central. Alright, so we'll see you in a second again. And while we were scouting outside of Buna, we have of course come across yet another single merchant ship the Japanese are trying to send out. It's not a bother at all. I think what we're going to try and do is bomb this first with our lightnings. We have equipped a couple AP bombs and some sat bombs. What I'm going to do is just pause very quickly, get the targeting thing up just there, and I'm going to get us to form into a line ahead, such as this, with both of our groups here. Lovely stuff. We're going to try and manually get this shot off, I think, like that. Get, oh, nearly missing it. This is going to be very close. Let's get these lightnings actually moved over, I think. They're going to have to circle back round and do that from the back. Not a problem there. Might just hit. We did that rather poorly there. Did that drop with all of our bombs? It looks like it did. Let's have a look. Turning too much there. We came in far too quick there. That's not a problem. We do have, of course, this other group coming in. Let's get these lightnings to circle round so they don't lose any distance there, and see if we can come in. We're going to reduce our speed actually to help us out. This must be rather frustrating for you all. I do apologise to see me faff around like this so much. It's okay, it's okay. It's just practice, just practice. I think that will be okay actually on that sort of line. That's not looking too bad at all actually. Perhaps a little bit more to the port side would be nice, but I think they'll turn into it. Let's have a look. And we're apparently not. Let's get them all to attack again. Let's get this group to strafe in, I think, and that should sort it out. We are very lucky that this is completely unarmed, I think, with absolutely no air defense whatsoever. We are having the luxury there. Doesn't look like we dropped with all our bombs, actually. So what we're going to do, I think, is actually wait for these to go down. Hopefully they'll come into a decent position and drop. But looks like they're having a bit of trouble there. Not too sure what sort of angle they want to come in by the looks of it. Interesting stuff. But we are getting a strafing run in. Looks like we missed completely with that. Lovely stuff. Exactly what we want to see. Hopefully this group has something. There we go. There we go. So lucky these are completely unarmoured, because we would have to come back and rearm just for that again, wouldn't we? Let's go and tell them to attack again. Gets another strafe off. Does look like we might be dropping here. No, they're on completely the wrong sort of angle for that. Let's tell them to form up, actually. Get them to come round and tell them to do it again, I think, like that. That should be much better for us. But I think by the time they get into a position, we'll have strafed this enough that it will go down. Not a problem, not a problem. Well, I'll leave you with that, and we'll see how it goes. Well, that was rather painful, wasn't it? So a quick situation report for you all. We did see what looked like another destroyer force coming over here, so we are trying to intercept that with some more lightnings over here. We can of course see what looks like some bombers coming in from here, so it is quite likely a carrier is close over there. And it's also very likely a carrier is somewhere in here, which is very cheeky of them. And that's going to make our life difficult for these transport ships if there is a carrier there. So what I'm going to do is actually bring these lightnings back. They were trying to go for the invasion force to cover that, and use whatever endurance they have to take on, or at least escort this group over here. We do have some havocs out though, which it appears their orders have been negated there. Just going to circle round and see what's going on over there. They are armed with rockets, nothing too big, just to make sure their endurance is up, and if they do come into contact with something, maybe they can deal with a lightly armoured ship. But that's a lot of planes out here for there to, and just of course, no islands for them to launch off other than Santa Isabel. There's definitely a carrier out here somewhere, which is very interesting place, very threatening actually, and therefore very worrying. So fingers crossed we don't run into it, but we'll see what happens. I'll see you in a minute. Well, our lightning sent out to look at that destroyer task force have finally come into contact with them, and it does appear that it is a group that we have previously come into contact with. The Fog of War update did say that it could be 7 possible ships, which was rather interesting. We had to check this out, but this is definitely something we've hit before. I believe we hit perhaps a Hippity or a Yugamo in this group, and it is now just a couple, I believe, Minakaze here, and perhaps a Wakataki or Kamikaze here. No, so yeah, it's either Mutsuki or not a Mutsuki. Sorry, Mutsuki's only got 2 torpedo launchers. So either a Kamikaze or a Minakaze there, and basically the same here. Not a problem at all. Our lightnings are armed with bombs though, so you're going to tell them to attack and leave us on also attack. We're going to try and hit both of them, and if we don't hit with our bombs, we'll see about strafing them. Depends what sorts of hits we take on the first attempt. So let's get into that and see how it goes. Well, of course, none of those bombs hit, did they? Why would they? But it's not a problem. I did decide to retreat out of there rather than try and strafe anything there. Just because I don't want to risk losing any lightnings over here at the moment. I know that the destroyers won't have a huge amount of AA, but you never know your luck. They might get a lucky flak burst off or something. But it's not a problem. We can look at those later on. They're not the biggest threat, to be honest, just 2 minor destroyers. What is a decent threat, though, is these fighters over here. They are beelining towards this task force. They know they're there somehow. And our lightnings just aren't going to be able to catch up. We may be in for a few ships sunk here, unfortunately. Well, I can't launch any fighters off of here anymore, and we have no fighter escorts from our islands over here, so we are going to be relying on perhaps just evading them. That's as best a guess as we can do at the moment, so we'll see what happens with that. Otherwise, we're on good track to get to Santa Isabel, or at least get some troops on the ground overnight. We should be okay over there, so we'll see what happens with that. The next update may be that we have landed our supplies on Reno Island. We will see in a minute. Well, just a quick update for you. It does actually appear that they're going for the new Hebrides, which is very, very strange. Unless they have a carrier out here, which we would definitely know about. It's very, very interesting choice from the AI here. I am, however, very grateful that they didn't go for our supply ships here, of course. But yeah, just a bit of a head scratcher there. It does look like we're possibly in range to drop off our supplies here. Let's try that out. Possibly not. No, I do need to get in range of that. That's not a problem. So we'll get back with that. Havocs are still scouting, and we do have some mariners out as well looking for them. Might actually launch some from here as well. Get some Catalinas out with some torpedoes. Probably not the best armament, but it's not a problem. Let's try like that and see what we can do. Well, in the early hours of the evening, our task force here has come into contact with some sort of contact. What is that? That does look like a submarine right off of us. That is very, very close. Okay, we're going to have to move very, very quickly to avoid this. Hopefully it doesn't get the tight turn that's the previous attack did, which sunk, I believe, a Fletcher. We're going to, of course, break off with everything else and see what happens there, because this cannot hit our ships. This will absolutely obliterate any plans we have of taking the Santa Isabel island here. So let's retreat back with these, I think, like that. Get the Fletcher out to turn around like that and try and go straight in for it. That is disgustingly close. You can see the torpedoes on a line here. And see which way they're turning. Okay, so they're turning to the right there. That does look like perhaps they're going over here. So we're actually going to turn to port actually with this destroyer and slow down to see if we can keep a sonar contact with it. And we're going to speed straight towards it, I think. Actually slow our speed down a little bit here so we can get a better turn and see what happens there. Because we're right on top of it, I don't think we'll need to do too much there. Unfortunately, we are going to have to move our ships around a little bit. It'd be very nice to, of course, have some sight on the map with this. We should not have reversed, of course, with this. We should have just turned away. But now that we know which way the torpedoes are turning, we know which way to turn to evade them. So hopefully we'll be able to pick them up on the map again and see what happens there. We're going to go straight on with this and then turn around on top of the submarine. Would still like to see those torpedoes in the water on the map, thank you very much. Oh, that's very close actually. Why have you stopped? Why have you stopped? Why have you stopped? You're going to take one. You're going to take one. Why are you stopping? I thought I told you to go down to 14, not 5. Ah, shit. Shit. Oh, dear me. Well, that's going to have to stop. What's the damage there? Lost the magazine on the front. That is disgusting stuff. Why is it always the magazine? Why is it always the magazine? Oh, we're turning into them now. Oh, dearie. This is going to be terrible. This is actually terrible. We're going to have to keep our speed up, I think, and just turn into them like that with the Arcturus there. This Arcturus, I think, should just slow right down and stop. The poor visibility letting me down there. Bad decisions here. We've not been playing to the best of our ability the last couple of episodes, have we? After the shock of that carrier engagement, this has not been good at all. Let's keep an eye on this then and see what we can do about that. But oh my god, yeah, we're going to take 1 or 2 here. We may lose the Arcturus because of this. This is disgusting. Oh no, we're going to have to slow down, I think, and maybe only try and get the one on the back there for the most. We might just, they're coming in this speed and this speed. I don't know if you can see on your screens there, it is very dark. We have dodged with that one. Let's pause very quickly and reverse, I think, with this one now. This one should reverse as well. Just straight. Let's see what's happening. I'm not so worried. How's the Farragut looking on top of this? Okay, we do need to turn around. We have missed it, but we are tunnel visioning. I'd rather miss an attack on the submarine than have our ships downed. Though it is, of course, far too late for one of our ships. Where are we going with this? I think we'll be okay, actually. The outer torpedoes coming on this sort of edge. I think we'll be okay to stop there. Oh, the poor Dewey. The poor Dewey. We'll get on top of this, but our magazine is permanently destroyed now. Such an unfortunate event. Why? Why must this happen? So much rage. I've lost sight of this now as well, but we do still have this as a contact on the map, so we're going to turn around. see what happens there, and try and get into contact with it. Well, that was that was just horrible there. I have to hand it to the TTE mod though. The submarine attacks on this are certainly far more challenging than they are on the base game, but not a problem. We've avoided that. I think we'll be able to land. It's going to take 2 more hours to come around into range of Santa Isabel, and I think we'll be okay just there. So let's carry on, and hopefully that'll be it. And there we go, came up with absolutely no interference at all. So, the moment of truth, how is this going to affect the balance of power here? Let's see, shall we? Okay, not so bad there, not so bad. We could definitely do with more troops, but I think we'll be okay there. If we get our supplies up, we'll be able to fight fairly effectively there, and I think we'll be okay. I do not want to actually bombard the shore there with anything. Just because I do want to keep the level 3 airfield over here. That would be very, very useful, I think. So we do have the Task Force 8 over here coming up to pick up perhaps some troops and supplies from Guadalcanal and bring them over to Santa Isabel, just so we don't have to wait all the way around, all the time rather, for these to come back round and then go back up. I'd rather have these already in position to go straight up to Santa Isabel, and then we can get them working around the clock like that if we need to. But I think that's all we have time for today, everyone. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed the episode. I hope to hear your feedback in the comments section below. But in the meantime, I've been the Edified Gamer, and I hope your nights and days are auspicious. Goodbye.